All right, let's just dive right into this explainer. Have you ever walked into a loud, crowded room and felt totally overwhelmed? Yeah, you're absolutely not alone. Today, we're going to treat that daunting social gathering like a literal cinematic matrix just waiting to be conquered. We're breaking down a super effective psychological blueprint to help you navigate any room with absolute confidence. Picture this. You walk into a room and you don't know a single soul. Instantly, your brain kicks into full-on survival mode, right? You're scanning the crowd like a radar, just begging for a safe opening, all while your social anxiety is ticking up and up. But what if you had a master key to unlock literally any conversation? Well, today, we're giving you the exact psychological tools to upgrade you from a background extra right into the main character of any room you step into. So, let's kick things off with Phase 1, the infiltration, all about overcoming that initial anxiety. Our very first hack here is the compliment combo. Look, you gotta forget generic phrases like cool outfit. Honestly, they're kind of boring and they're instantly forgotten. Instead, you want to zoom in on those intentional micro details that just scream personality. Notice that vibrant custom enamel pin on their jacket that hints at a hidden fandom. Or maybe they're rocking some wildly colorful mismatched socks. When you compliment a highly specific, intentional choice instead of just offering surface-level praise, you give that person a split second of feeling truly seen. All right, so once you've broken the ice, you hit the next big hurdle. Come on, we've all been there. You meet someone, they tell you their name, and whoosh, your brain deletes it faster than your browser history. It's not personal, it's just data overload. The fix? The name drop resurrection. Since our brains wipe names instantly due to that overload, you've got to use their name immediately in the very next sentence. If they mention their job or a hobby, wrap their name right into your response. You're effectively speaking it out loud to hang a lantern on it inside your own memory palace. See, hearing our own name is a massive psychological trigger. It literally lights up our brain's attention center and subconsciously screams to the other person, hey, you matter enough for me to remember. It's an incredibly powerful psychological tool. Just, be super careful not to overdo it, or you'll end up sounding like a cheesy salesman trying to close a deal. We definitely don't want that. Moving right along to Phase 2, syncing the frequency, where we talk about adjusting to your environment. Have you ever tried talking to someone whose energy is just the complete opposite of yours? Like maybe they're bouncing off the walls on pure caffeine, or on the flip side, they're talking so slowly it feels like a nature documentary narrated by fog. Enter the mirror move. If you can match their energy tempo, their subconscious social walls instantly drop. If they're super laid back, slow down your pace, let your words breathe a bit. If they're bursting with excitement, bring your energy way up to match them. You want them to feel like you're on their exact wavelength. But quick side note, do this without mindlessly mimicking their physical movements like a mime. That's just weird. Okay, but what happens when you spot a group you really want to join, but there's a physical gap, and your brain just starts spinning this cinematic horror reel of awkwardness? What if they stare? What if it's super weird? Listen to me. Do not negotiate with your anxiety. Instead, execute the 3-second entry rule. The exact second your gut says go, count down from 3, 3, 2, 1. Move. Confidence isn't something you just sit around waiting for, right? It's a decision you execute before your brain even finishes loading the hesitation. Step right into the scene before doubt takes over the controls. That brings us to Phase 3, deepening the plot. This is all about forging those genuine, cinematic connections. So when someone is talking to you and drops a niche hobby, please don't just nod along and say cool. You gotta use the echo hack. This means grabbing an exact niche keyword they just used and literally tossing it right back at them with pure curiosity. This brilliant little maneuver gets you 2 massive wins. First, it proves you are actively listening, not just standing there politely waiting for your turn to speak. And second, it basically hands them the microphone to deep dive into something they clearly love, rather than you hijacking the moment with your own story. For example, if they mention juggling, just throw it right back. Juggling? Like oranges or fire chainsaws? By tossing their exact word back at them with genuine curiosity, you keep the conversational fire burning on their side first. You are totally setting the stage for a much more dynamic, engaging interaction. Here's the thing. The big problem with most interactions is that small talk is essentially a polite prison. We all just shuffle through the exact same standard playlist. The traffic, the weather, how insanely busy everyone is lately. It is so exhausting. To break out of this, you need to drop a vulnerability vibe bomb. Now, let me be clear, this does not mean trauma dumping your deepest, darkest secrets over the chips and guacamole. No way.
It simply means sharing a tiny, authentic human truth to act as some real connective tissue.
Just look at the contrast here. Instead of complaining about the commute from inside that polite prison, you offer a simple human truth like, honestly, I didn't think I'd know anyone here and I almost stayed home. Sharing that tiny bit of vulnerability completely shatters those artificial walls. It actually gives everyone else in the conversation subconscious permission to drop their own armor and just be real with you too. It's a total game changer. And finally, we hit Phase 4, the exfiltration and the ultimate key, which is all about protecting your social battery. Okay, we have all been trapped in a conversation we just couldn't escape. You know the one. You're stuck listening to the multi-generational lore of someone's underground kombucha startup while your social battery is practically flashing red. You desperately need out, but obviously you don't want to be rude. This is exactly why mastering your exit is just as vital as your intro. You need to create a clean exit portal. This is a firm but super polite closing sequence, executed specifically to protect your boundaries and, of course, your vibe.
A really clean exit portal script sounds something like this. Hey, I'm gonna grab a quick drink and check on a friend, but it was awesome hearing about your project. Boom. This elegantly provides closure. It gets you out of the situation gracefully without you over-explaining your departure or leaving this awkward ghost trail behind you.
Now, before you go and use that exit portal, you want to make absolutely sure you've deployed the ultimate social superpower, the curiosity catalyst. When a conversation feels like it's just shifting onto autopilot, don't let it drift into oblivion. You've got to listen carefully for the unpulled thread. These are those brief little phrases they just skip right over, like mentioning their weekend was kind of wild or that they're starting a weird new project. Your job is to gently pull that thread. Ask why, ask how, and ask about the feeling behind those surface statements.
Because really, this is the core philosophy behind all these hacks: magnetic curiosity. It's the true secret to turning passing interactions into genuinely unforgettable connections. You don't ever need to be the most interesting person in the room with the absolute craziest stories. You just have to be the most interested person in the room. When you genuinely care enough to pull those threads, people feel it, and I promise you, they remember you for it.
So, by mastering these psychological blueprints, from the compliment combo all the way to the curiosity catalyst, you can navigate the social matrix like an absolute pro. So I've got a question to leave you with today. Which of these social locks are you going to pick first at your next gathering? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, hit subscribe for more psychological blueprints, and I'll see you in the next explainer.